Hi there everyone, welcome back to Press for Truth TV. Today is Wednesday, October the 17th, 2012, and today I wanted to talk about a new trade treaty known as FIPA, the Canada-China Foreign Investment Protection Agreement, which Stephen Harper right now is basically trying to whisk this through Parliament without you finding out about it. But a lot of people have noticed that this new deal has a lot of provisions in it that are similar to some of the clauses in the NAFTA agreement that would give foreign investors the ability to sue the Canadian government if it ends up putting in any kinds of restrictions or if it does anything that would get in the way of the foreign investors' profits, basically. Here's an article on that today from the Vancouver Observer. Chinese companies can sue BC for changing course on Northern Gateway, says policy expert. A Canada-China investment treaty known as FIPA will hamstring BC from negotiating a greater share of profits and creating regulations related to the proposed Edinburgh Northern Gateway pipeline for the next 31 years. Once it comes into effect at the end of October, an international investment law expert warns. This treaty, in effect, will preempt important elements of the debate of the Northern Gateway pipeline and may frustrate in a very significant way the ability of the current BC government or any future government, if the NDP were to win in the spring, from stopping that pipeline or bargaining a better deal for BC, says Gus Van Harten, an Osgoode law professor. Van Harten noted that arbitrators in foreign investment agreement disputes will most likely judge in favor of Chinese investors in cases where the host country attempts to impose new or updated regulations that may interfere with the investor's bottom line. And that is the bottom line about this treaty, is that it will do just that. It will give these foreign investors the ability to sue the Canadian government if it tries to put in new regulations, even if these regulations are to protect Canadians. And so I'll put a link to this article. There's a lot of more good information in here. But I also wanted to point you to a petition that I found going around online that has already gotten 34,000 signatures here. I'll just read a little bit of it to you here. In 2 weeks from now, Prime Minister Harper could pass the most secretive and sweeping trade deal of a generation. This deal would pave the way for a massive natural resource buyout and allow foreign corporations to sue the Canadian government in secret tribunals, restricting Canadians from making democratic decisions about our economy, environment, and energy. Most Canadians have never heard of FIPA, the Canada-China Foreign Investment Protection Agreement, because Prime Minister Harper is trying to sneak it through without a single vote or debate in Parliament. Canadians have a right to determine our future, but this agreement will undermine our democratic rights and lock us into an inescapable path of foreign ownership and resource extraction until at least 2040. The Canada-China FIPA is set for automatic approval on October 31st, unless we get the word out now that the Harper Conservatives are trying to bypass Parliament and sneak this deal by Canadians. That's why we partnered with someofus.org on this campaign. If enough of us raise our voices now, we can create a massive public outcry to stop this devastating deal in the tracks. And again, there's a lot more information contained here in this article about the petition and a lot of sources where you can find more information on this new deal. So I'll put a link in this one in the description as well, so you can check it out on your own time. And I wanted to leave you today with, we covered this extensively in how this operates in the NAFTA agreement. And we covered that in our film United We Fall, and we have a scene here that explains it perfectly, exactly what this new FIPA deal can potentially mean when these Chinese investors might potentially want to sue the government because of new regulations.
If municipalities, federal or provincial bodies establish laws for our country for the best interests of our country based on our collective will, then the corporations can successfully challenge those laws and sue us for passing laws that infringe upon their investments and their trade.
And these are the provisions that allow a corporation to sue a national government if it feels it is not getting the treatment it would be entitled to under NAFTA. The first case against Canada under the investor state provisions was a suit brought by Ethel Corporation from the U.S. that was wanting to market in Canada a gasoline additive called MMT, which is a suspected neurotoxin.
It was stated by our government that we're going to ban additives to fuel that involve methyl manganese because it's harmful to individuals neurologically and otherwise. It's been linked to attention deficit disorder and other problems. But when we passed those laws, the Ethel Group sued our country, said, how dare you pass laws that restrict our trade, and even when we're doing it for the benefit of our own country.
Well, Canada, the Canadian government responded to that suit by effectively apologizing to Ethel, by paying them $13 million US in compensation, and by withdrawing the ban. So it didn't even have to go through the full adjudication process before Canada backed down.